Christmas morning. Our entire family gathered in my parents' living room. 20 people, cousins, aunts, uncles, my siblings, everyone opening presents, laughing, celebrating. Then my dad handed me a small box, wrapped in newspaper comics. Everyone started giggling. "Open it, Marlo, it's a special one!" I unwrapped it. Inside was an Ancestry DNA kit. The room erupted in laughter. "We got you a DNA test," Mom announced. "Since you're always going on about being different from the family, now you can prove you're one of us. Or maybe find out you're secretly royalty." More laughter. My sister Paige doubled over. "Oh my God, imagine if it says she's actually adopted." "Or part alien," my brother Cameron added. Everyone thought it was hilarious, a joke gift for their weird daughter, the one who didn't quite fit in, the artsy one, the one who questioned everything. I smiled, played along. "Thanks, this'll be fun." But here's what they didn't know. I'd already taken an ancestry test 3 months earlier, in secret, and I'd brought the results with me. Real results. Results that would destroy everything they thought they knew about our family. And when I opened that envelope, they weren't laughing anymore. If you've ever been the different one in your family and wondered why, stay with me until the end. Your support means everything to me. Hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments. Have you ever taken a DNA test that revealed shocking family secrets? Let's talk about it. Now, back to my story. Let me take you back to why I'd already taken the test. 3 months before Christmas, September 2023. My name is Marlo Chen. I'm 28 years old, living in Boston, Massachusetts, working as a graphic designer at an advertising agency, making $65,000 a year. My family lives in Connecticut. Parents, Robert and Linda Chen. Older sister Paige, 31. Younger brother Cameron, 25. Extended family all nearby. Big, loud, close-knit Chinese-American family. Except I'd never quite fit. I looked different. Lighter hair, lighter eyes, lighter skin. My siblings had dark hair, dark eyes, distinctly Asian features. I looked ambiguous. Could be anything. Growing up, I was always the different one. Teachers assumed I was adopted. Friends asked if I was really Chinese. Family made jokes about the mailman. My parents always had the same explanation. You take after your grandmother's side, recessive genes, mixed heritage, it happens. But I never quite believed it. Something always felt off, like I didn't belong, like I was a puzzle piece from a different box. In September, I was at a friend's house. She'd just gotten her Ancestry DNA results back, was showing me her ethnic breakdown, her family tree, her DNA matches. "You should do one," she said. "See your heritage breakdown, find distant cousins. It's fascinating." I ordered a kit that night, spit in the tube, mailed it off, waited 6 weeks for results. When they came back, I was at work, opened the email on my phone, started reading, and my world tilted. Ethnicity. Estimate 52% Irish, 23%, German, 18%, English, 7%, Scandinavian, 0%, East Asian, 0% Chinese. I read it 3 times, 4 times, checked the name on the account. Marlo Chen, that was me. But the DNA? Not Chinese at all, not even a little bit. Then I scrolled to DNA matches. Close family matches. Close family. Sarah Mitchell, half-sister, 25% shared DNA. James Mitchell, possible father, 50% shared DNA. My hands shook. I had a half-sister and a father, neither named Chen. I messaged Sarah Mitchell immediately. "Hi, we matched as half-sisters on Ancestry. I'm confused about this. Can we talk?" She responded within an hour. "Hi, Marlo. I've been hoping you'd reach out. This might be difficult to hear, but my father, James Mitchell, donated sperm in the mid-1990s to a fertility clinic in Connecticut. He recently did an ancestry test and found multiple donor-conceived children. Are you one of them?" I felt sick. I don't know. My parents never told me I was donor-conceived. Many parents don't. It was more common to keep it secret back then. But the DNA doesn't lie. If we're matching as half-sisters with my dad as a match, You're almost certainly his biological daughter through donation." I closed my laptop, went home, sat on my couch, stared at nothing. My parents had lied. My entire life. I wasn't their biological daughter, or at least not Robert's biological daughter. I was donor conceived, and they'd never told me. Over the next 3 months, I messaged with Sarah, met James Mitchell over video call. He was kind, apologetic, explained he'd donated sperm in college to make money, never expected to be contacted by offspring decades later. "I've found 12 biological children so far," he said. "You'd be number 13, all from the same clinic in Connecticut, all born between 1994 and 1997. My parents live in Connecticut. I was born in 1995. "Then it's very likely. I'm sorry you're finding out this way. Many donor-conceived people feel betrayed when parents don't tell them the truth." I asked my parents about fertility treatments, casually, at Thanksgiving. "Did you guys ever have trouble getting pregnant? I'm just curious about family medical history." Mom looked uncomfortable. "Why are you asking?" "Just wondering, for my own future planning." "We had no problems," Dad said firmly. 3 healthy pregnancies, 3 healthy kids. We were very fortunate." He was lying, right to my face, and I knew it. That's when I decided. Christmas. I'd confront them at Christmas, when the whole family was there, when they couldn't dodge or deflect, when the truth would come out in front of everyone who'd ever joked about me being different. I printed my DNA results, put them in an envelope, brought them to Christmas, and when Dad handed me that joke DNA kit, the one meant to mock my weirdness, I knew the moment had come. After everyone finished laughing at the joke gift, I stood up. "Actually, this is perfect timing, because I already took a DNA test 3 months ago, and I brought the results with me." The laughter stopped. Mom's face went pale. "What do you mean you already took a test?" Dad asked. "I mean I ordered an Ancestry DNA kit in September, got the results in October, and they're very interesting. Does anyone want to see?" I pulled the envelope from my bag. Paige laughed nervously. "Marlo, what are you doing?" "I'm sharing my Ancestry results. Since everyone thinks it's so funny that I'm different from the rest of you, let's see what the DNA actually says." I opened the envelope, read aloud. "Ethnicity estimate, 52% Irish, 23% German, 18% English, 7% Scandinavian." I looked around the room. 0% East Asian, 0% Chinese. Silence. Complete silence. Uncle Wei spoke first. "That's not possible. You're Linda and Robert's daughter." "According to my DNA, I'm not Robert's biological daughter. According to my DNA, my biological father is a man named James Mitchell, a sperm donor, from a Connecticut fertility clinic." Mom stood up. "Marlo, not here, not now. This is Christmas. This is the perfect time, since you gave me a DNA test as a joke. Since everyone's been joking my entire life about me being different, about the mailman, about adoption, about not looking Chinese. Well, you were right. I'm not biologically Chinese because I'm not Dad's biological daughter." Dad's face was bright red. "Marlo, stop this. Why? You've been lying to me for 28 years. You used donor sperm, got pregnant with me through a fertility clinic, and never told me. Let me grow up thinking I was weird, different, wrong, when the whole time I just had different DNA than you." Grandma Chen gasped. "Linda, is this true?" Mom's eyes filled with tears. "We were going to tell you, eventually, when the time was right." "When? When was the right time? When I was 30, 40? When you died and I found out through genetic testing anyway? You gave me a DNA test as a joke today. You thought it was hilarious, and you knew what it would show if I actually took it. We didn't think you'd actually take one. So you gambled? Gave me a gag gift knowing it could expose your secret? How stupid is that?" Paige stood up. "Wait, if you're donor conceived, does that mean Cameron and I might be too?" "I don't know. Are you? Did Mom and Dad use donor sperm for all 3 pregnancies? Or just mine?" Everyone looked at Mom and Dad. They looked at each other. Then Dad spoke. "Just you. Marlo, We had fertility issues after Paige was born. I had a medical issue, low sperm count. We tried for 2 years. Nothing worked, so we used a donor. Then my issue resolved. We had Cameron naturally 5 years later. So I'm the only one, the only donor-conceived kid, and you never thought to tell me. We wanted you to feel like you belonged, so you lied instead? Let me feel like a freak for not looking like everyone else? Let people make jokes about the mailman and adoption and being switched at birth, when you could have just told me the truth? Cameron looked shell-shocked. So Marlo's not my full sister? She's your half-sister, I corrected. We share Linda's DNA, not Robert's. I have a different biological father, a man named James Mitchell who donated sperm in 1994. Have you met him? Paige asked quietly. Yes, video call. He's a nice man, lives in Oregon, high school math teacher, has a wife and 2 kids, and 12 other biological children from sperm donation. I'm number 13. Aunt Susan spoke up. Robert and Linda, how could you not tell her? This is medical information, genetic information. She has a right to know her biological father's health history. We were protecting her, Mom started. From what? From the truth? From her own identity? She's 28 years old. You've had nearly 3 decades to tell her. Uncle Wei shook his head. This is shameful. You lied to the entire family. Let us all believe Marlo was Robert's biological daughter, made up stories about recessive genes and grandmother's side of the family. We were trying to make her feel included, Dad shouted, trying to make her feel like she belonged. By lying? By gaslighting her about her own appearance? By letting people make jokes when you knew the real reason she looked different? Grandma Chen stood up, walked over to me, took my hands. I'm sorry, child. I'm sorry they lied to you. I'm sorry we didn't know. You are still my granddaughter, maybe not by Robert's blood, but by love, by family, by all the years we've shared. I started crying. Thank you, Grandma. But your parents were wrong, very wrong, to keep this secret, to give you that test as a joke, to risk you finding out in the worst possible way. She turned to Mom and Dad. You should be ashamed, both of you. Then she walked out. Several other relatives followed. The Christmas celebration was over. Paige approached me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I laughed at the joke gift. I'm sorry I didn't know. Are you okay? I don't know. I just found out my entire identity is based on a lie. And I found out in front of everyone because Mom and Dad thought giving me a DNA test would be funny. Cameron hugged me. You're still my sister. Half or full or whatever. You're still Marlo. Still family. Thanks, Cam. We left. I drove back to Boston. Spent the rest of Christmas alone, fielding calls from relatives, some supportive, some angry at my parents, some confused. Mom texted around 8 p.m. We need to talk, really talk, about everything. Please. I didn't respond. Not that night. Not for weeks. In January, I met with Mom and Dad at a neutral location, a coffee shop halfway between Boston and their Connecticut home. They looked terrible, aged, exhausted. Thank you for meeting us, Mom said. I'm listening. Explain. Dad started. After Paige was born, I had a health scare. Testicular cancer. Very early stage. Treated successfully. But the treatment and the illness affected my fertility. We tried for 2 years to have another baby. Failed. Doctors said my sperm count was too low. So you used a donor? Yes, we went to a fertility clinic, chose a donor. Profile said he was Chinese to match me. Height, weight, general features. We thought it would be close enough that no one would question it. But the donor wasn't Chinese. No, we found out later, much later, that the clinic made a mistake. Gave us the wrong donor sperm. They'd mislabeled vials. James Mitchell's sperm was labeled as belonging to a Chinese donor. By the time we found out, you were already born, already ours. We didn't care that you didn't look like what we expected. We loved you. When did you find out about the mistake? When you were 3. The clinic contacted us. There'd been an audit. They discovered the mislabeling, offered compensation. We took it, used it to pay for your preschool, but we never told you. Why not? Because you were 3. How do you explain sperm donation and clinic errors to a 3-year-old? We decided we'd tell you when you were older, when you could understand. But then years passed, and it never seemed like the right time. So you just never told me. Let me grow up confused about why I look different. Mom took over. We thought we were protecting you. Thought if you knew you were donor conceived, you'd feel different. Less than. Not really ours. Instead, I felt different anyway, for completely different reasons, and had no explanation for it. We know. We were wrong. We should have told you. Should have been honest from the beginning. Why did you give me the DNA test as a joke? They looked at each other. Dad answered. Because we thought you'd never actually take one. Thought it was safe to make the joke because you weren't interested in ancestry testing. We were stupid, arrogant, wrong. You gambled with my identity, my sense of self, my trust, and you lost. We know. We're sorry. Deeply, truly sorry. Sorry isn't enough. You lied to me for 28 years. Let the entire family make jokes about me being different when you knew exactly why I was different. And then you gave me a DNA test as a gag gift and hoped I'd never actually use it. That's not just lying. That's cruelty. What do you want from us? Mom asked. How do we make this right? I don't know if you can. I'm getting to know my biological father, my half-siblings, 13 of them, people who share my DNA, who look like me, who understand what it's like to be donor conceived. That's my family now, too. We're still your family. Are you? Because family doesn't lie. Family doesn't gaslight. Family doesn't make jokes about someone's identity when they know the painful truth behind it. I stood up. I need time, space, to figure out who I am without your lies. Marlo, please. My name is Marlo Mitchell Chen. I'm adding my biological father's last name, because he may have just been a sperm donor, but he's been more honest with me in 3 months than you've been in 28 years. I left. They didn't follow. 1 year has passed. Christmas 2024. I spent it in Oregon, with James Mitchell, with Sarah, my half-sister, with 6 other donor-conceived siblings who gathered for a donor-sibling reunion. We looked alike, same nose, same eyes, same smile. For the first time in my life, I was in a room of people who shared my features, my DNA, my biological heritage. James gave a speech. I never expected this. When I donated sperm in college, I thought it was just helping people have families. I never thought I'd meet any of you, never thought I'd have 13 biological children out in the world. But now that I know you all exist, I'm grateful. Grateful to know you, to be part of your lives, even if it's complicated, even if it's unconventional. We went around the room, shared our stories, how we found out, how our families reacted. Some had supportive parents who'd told them young. Some, like me, had found out accidentally. Some through medical necessities, others through curiosity. All of us felt the same thing. Relief. At finally understanding why we'd felt different, why we'd never quite fit in, why we'd looked in the mirror and seen a stranger. I thought I was crazy, said Michael, one of my half-brothers. I'm 100% Irish-German. My parents are both Chinese. They told me recessive genes. I believed it until I was 25. Then I got diagnosed with a hereditary condition, needed family medical history, took a DNA test, found out the truth. My parents told me at 18, said Sarah, right before college. They wanted me to know before I left home. It was hard, but I'm grateful they were honest. Mine still haven't admitted it, said Rachel, another half-sister. Even after I showed them the DNA results, they say the test is wrong, that I'm confused, that I'm trying to hurt them. I shared my story, the joke DNA test at Christmas, the confrontation, the lies, the gaslighting, the fractured family. Everyone understood. No judgment, no pressure, just understanding. Robert and Linda have been trying to rebuild. Therapy, letters, apologies. They're trying. But trust takes time, years, maybe decades, maybe never fully restored. Paige and Cameron still talk to me. We're rebuilding too. They've met James, met my half-siblings. They're trying to understand, to support me, to be the siblings I need. Grandma Chen calls every week. You're my granddaughter, always, no matter what DNA says. She's the only one from Dad's side of the family I still talk to regularly. The rest of the family fractured. Some sided with my parents. They were trying their best. They made a mistake. You shouldn't have confronted them publicly. Others sided with me. They lied for 28 years. They gave you a joke DNA test. They deserve to be called out. Christmas gatherings are different now, smaller. Some relatives at Mom and Dad's house, others refusing to go. The family that was once tight-knit is now scattered, divided, changed. And me? I'm healing. Learning who I am. Marlo Mitchell Chen, daughter of Linda Chen and James Mitchell, half-sister to Paige and Cameron Chen, half-sister to 12 donor-conceived siblings, granddaughter of Grandma Chen, part of multiple families, multiple identities, multiple truths. I'm Marlo Mitchell. I'm 29 years old. 1 year ago, my parents gave me an Ancestry DNA test as a Christmas joke. They thought it was hilarious, the perfect gag gift for their different daughter. They didn't know I'd already taken the test, already gotten the results, already discovered I was donor-conceived, that my biological father was a sperm donor named James Mitchell, that I had 0 Chinese DNA despite growing up in a Chinese-American family. When I revealed the truth in front of 20 relatives on Christmas morning, they weren't laughing anymore. The joke was on them. The family fractured. The lies were exposed. Everything changed. My parents claimed they were protecting me, waiting for the right time to tell me. But 28 years is not waiting for the right time. 28 years is hoping you'll never have to tell the truth. And giving me a DNA test as a joke, while knowing what it would reveal, that's not protection. That's arrogance, stupidity, cruelty. I found my biological father, my 12 half-siblings, people who share my DNA, my features, my genetic heritage, people who understand what it's like to be donor-conceived, to grow up feeling different without knowing why. My relationship with Robert and Linda may never fully heal. Trust, once broken by decades of lies, doesn't magically repair. They're trying. I'm trying. But it's hard. Maybe impossible. But I found something else. Identity. Truth. Understanding. A biological family that looks like me. That shares my genes. That validates my existence. I'm not weird. I'm not different. I'm not the product of recessive genes or grandmother's side of the family. I'm donor-conceived. And that's okay. It's my truth, my identity, my story. Sometimes jokes reveal more than the joke teller intended. Sometimes gag gifts expose decades of lies. Sometimes the laughter stops when the truth comes out. My parents thought giving me a DNA test would be funny. Instead, it destroyed their carefully constructed lie, exposed their secret, changed everything. The DNA doesn't lie, even when parents do, especially when parents do. And now I know who I really am. Finally, truly, completely. Marlo Mitchell Chen, donor-conceived, half Chinese by nurture, half Irish-German by nature, daughter of 2 fathers, sister to 14 siblings, and exactly who I was always meant to be. The truth. Nothing more, nothing less. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Your support truly means the world to me, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. I love reading every single one of them. Each comment inspires me to keep creating stories for you. See you next time.